May is the most auspicious month for business, for investments, and for bringing in more prosperity, especially for those who are business owners, who are entrepreneurs, who are artists, and working on their own masterpieces. I am Antoinette McKeska. I am a royal astrologer. I practice astrology as it was practiced back in ancient Mesopotamia, Babylon, Akkad, Sumer, ancient Greece, back in the times of the Golden Age when knowledge was pure and the truth was more prevalent. And back when priest-astrologers were the primary consultants to royalty and empires were the strongest and the most successful and long-lasting. And I want to start with May 1st. May 1st, we have a full moon conjunct the fixed star Gamma. And we're building up to this full moon now. And this full moon will feel the effects of it for 2 weeks after until the next new moon. So May 1st, the full moon is at 17 degrees Libra, conjunct Gamma. And this is the fixed star of the artist and of the nature of Jupiter and Mercury, of Hermes called it the star of knowledge and of the crown of authority. So it's making a trine. Jupiter is making a trine from the fixed star Castor in Gemini, who is the mortal twin who turned immortal. So this can help the return to the light. That star Castor means the light returns. And it's not an afflicted full moon. It should be an easy and more peaceful moon cycle than we've had in a long time. And it's a great time at that full moon to make any announcements as far as business and partnerships and your art projects or any creative projects, any architecture and systems and structures that you've been building and creating and refining since Saturn. Saturn also is making an appearance. Saturn was invisible in the underworld behind the rays of the sun. He was on his underworld journey. We couldn't see him. He was hiding under the rays of the sun for about 2 months in most places of the world. And Saturn is rising at this time. And so this is a good time after Saturn rises to put for these your projects, your systems, your structures that you've created and you've refined to put them into play. They'll have a longer life and it'll bring more stability. And we've been called to be very responsible, and the whole world has had to over the past 2 months, and even last year, when Saturn was conjunct Neptune last year and through February of this year, and as Saturn went into the underworld right shortly after, old systems and structures have been dissolving. This is the same aspect that that happened at the time of the Berlin Wall and the French Revolution and other big revolutionary refining periods. So this is happening in some place in all of our lives, and it contributes to the collective doing the same because it happened at the vernal equinox point, which is the point of where the collective consciousness is right now. So it's aiding in our awakening process and our process of evolution as we move through the gateways of the ages and of the epochs. We're moving through 180 year into a new 180-year epoch of Aries that started in about 2019. And this brings more, and so whenever Mars rises also this month, it's going to be very, very strong. Every movement of Mars is very significant and very strong in this epoch of Aries. So I want to talk more about that of Mars rising also. But first, Saturn. Saturn will rise in the sky in the morning sky. Saturn will be a morning star in at different latitudes at different times. So we can expect to see Saturn reappear at about 30 degrees north. So this is in the area where I am in Texas, in Austin, at that latitude around April 29th. And this is where, at this latitude, we can see new systems and structures coming out to be active in the world. And a really good time if you're at that latitude to also, if you've been behind the scenes, recreating, refining your systems and structures to like really give it the go at that time. And we'll see this in the government too, in that those bigger systems of society. We'll see, whatever they've been developing behind the scenes since about March 20, what was decided around March 24th when Saturn was conjunct the sun. We'll see that was happening in behind the scenes. We'll see that coming out into play around April 29th. And then but those who are at the latitude of 20 degrees north around Dubai will actually see this happening right now. So that latitude around 20 degrees north can expect new systems and structures to be put forth around that time. And then in the upper latitudes around 40 and 50 degrees north, like New York City, London, we can expect around May 8th. So if you're at those latitudes, and then actually, let me correct myself, May 8th around the New York City latitude, and then around the London latitude, 50 degrees north, that's May 26th. So wait, you have more time up there at the higher latitudes. And then in the places on the southern hemisphere, especially around like 30 degrees south, Saturn's already been visible for a long time. They see a lot more, they see the sky completely differently than we do. So, or, if you're watching, then you do, or so late March, early April, Sydney already, Australia and New Zealand and the Southern Hemisphere already saw Saturn burst as a morning star. So also, I'm going to look at my notes and make sure. So Mars is rising also. So you've got your systems and structures being put into place. And at the same time, Mars, the planet who is like, he's like the small businessman. He's like a copy. He's like not like a small businessman, but he is the archetype of the businessman and of entrepreneurship. And Saturn has been invisible behind the rays of the sun in most places in the world since the summer of 2025, which is the longest I've ever seen Mars to be invisible behind the rays of the sun. But around April 26th, in the Dubai latitude, around 20 degrees north. You can see Mars in the sky again, rising. And this is a good time for new projects and business, and will have longer life. Any kind of new fitness regimen that you put into place is going to be long lasting and is going to get you the results that you want also, if that's something that you need. So April 26th, Dubai, that date for Austin, Houston, around 30-degree latitude is around May 13th. Mars rises in the eastern sky around May 30th, around the 38 to 40-degree latitude, May 30th, Washington, D.C., Athens, we'll see Mars. And in Australia, New Zealand, they already have Mars starting late March, early April. And then in around 50 degrees latitude north, around London, you won't see Mars until June. So as far as anything that needs to happen as far as like aggressiveness, if you need to file a lawsuit, if you want to be the one to win and you need to do the one who's filing it, you need to be the one who's filing it. If you're the initiate, then you want to wait till you can see Mars in the sky, because then you have more uh the the outcome will rule in your favor. So if you have initiated any like things like lawsuits um hmm, or business endeavors or projects, um and those types of things. So the ancients would say, don't initiate a war and don't initiate a big build, a big project without Mars visible. So take that into consideration as it translates in today's modern society of how we do business and how we do war, right? So if you're the one who is filing for a divorce, you want to wait for Mars. If if there's any disagreement. And also we have later in May, Mercury is going to rise in the horns of the bull near the fixed stars of wealth. So he'll rise as an evening star. Let me double check. Yeah, he will rise as an evening star, as Hermes himself. So this is a great time. This is in the horns of the bull with the fixed star Rigel. So Hermes called this fixed star the star of the most fortunate. So at the end of May, and at different latitudes, you'll see Mercury in the evening sky. And whenever you do see Mercury, Mercury's trickier to see because he travels so closely to the sun, but that is the time for to do things like make more sales and do more business and negotiations. Negotiations will be more in favor of creating wealth. And speaking of wealth, I'm going to go into Venus too. I should have spoken about Venus in the beginning, but this is the best part. I'm going to save the best part for last. But Mercury, if you can see Mercury in the evening sky, close to right after sunset, whenever I do see Mercury, I do feel like I receive such a blessing. And it's a blessing to the mind to sharpen the mind, to bring more humor and comic relief. So Mercury as an evening star, as a bright Hermes. He was the salesman. He's the astrologer. He is the negotiator. He is the one who can see the patterns that others can't see. It's very rare that Mercury is even visible in the sky because he travels so close to the rays of the sun. So whenever we get to see him, we get, that divine inspiration, that divine spark in our mind. And he's also the comedian. So we get the therapy of comedy and the way comedy and humor can make shifts in the mind and even in beliefs and just lighten everything up. Um, and that's what makes way for the divine inspiration to enter. And then, of course, we have Venus. Venus has been in Taurus. And so I'm a sidereal astrologer. I look at the actual uh, fixed stars in the sky. So this is going to be different than the modern tropical projected image that most modern astrologers are talking about. Because I look at the actual constellations the way the astronomers would see them. And so Venus, in the place of the bull, she's transiting here she's there now and she'll be there till May 14th. So it's a really good time for women in business, women in if you can really especially embody the lover archetype. So she is Aphrodite. She's an evening star. You can see her bright after sunset in the western sky, no matter where you are on the planet right now. And she's blessing everyone with her lightness, with her beauty, with bringing more joy through pleasure and through love and through sensuality. So this is sensual creature comforts and sensual indulgences and sensual love and wealth. So she's traveling through those stars of wealth and of business. And she is the archetype of the divine feminine. She is as the lover archetype in particular. So whenever you can approach your business and your projects and whatever it is you're doing in all of life, even in your cooking, in your um, eh, um, beautifying your home, beautifying yourself, whatever it is, whenever you can approach this as the archetype of the lover. And what I mean by that is uh, they say the ancient Hermetic hymns would say Aphrodite is a friend to all. There's no laughter, no celebrations, no parties, no marriages can happen without Aphrodite. So she graces us with her lightness and her beauty, right? So whenever we can, as women especially, really embody this archetype of the lover in everything that we do, we magnetize exactly what we want, what we desire, and what's true and what's best for us. Even at a deep somatic level, what's really sustaining for us gives us satisfaction and real pleasure, not just fleeting pleasure. But whenever we can approach our self-care this way from the archetype of the lover, and I would say the archetype of the lover, that frame of mind and embodiment would mean it would be like, I love my, say your baby, right? Your project or your lover. Like, no, you love this baby or this project or, this lover, this husband, whatever it is, so much that nobody could tell you that it's ugly. You're completely inspired and turned on by it. And even as far as like marketing, you this this business, this project, and creating it, the creation of it goes whenever you embody this. And then this is the energy that is going to be amplified and then magnetizes back and creates that beautiful circular magnetism of what you put out, you attract, right? So I hope this was helpful. And of course, this is a perfect time this month. This month is better than any other month that I see astrologically. To really to get what you want, to make investments. The investments that you make will turn out and um, will turn out uh, back in results. So make your investments, get out in the world, get out from behind your screen and go like really enjoy the pleasures of life and build your systems and structures and they're going to be fully operative and you know um, we've been dissolving from the old and then we're in a place of renewal um, this month. So whatever, if there's been, and I know there has been so much suffering in the world and war and all that, but also what you focus on really, really expands. So if you don't focus on the media, don't focus on the news, don't focus on what's going on the other side of the world. Yes, of course, you know that it's happening. You're aware, but you focus on what you have um, the biggest and most powerful effect of over, and that's your own state and your own creativity, your own projects, your own health, your own wealth. And then what happens is it makes you more magnetic and it brings you more power. And then you have a bigger influence on the world from that state. And that is how you um, uh, create a ripple effect of change across the world and through everything that you do. So, if you would like a private consultation with me, you may book an activation, and this gets you from where you are to where you want to be. I follow your star map to get you exactly there, the way the ancient astrologers served the kings to build their empires and create success and create the partnerships that would last and that would create more joy and prosperity in the world. And we do this by following the star map and activating your uh, intricacies of your own divinity and these very specific archetypes and the adventure that you were born to create based on your star map that is a coming home. So you can go to royalastrology.com to book an activation with me. Most clients keep me on retainer month after month, but it starts with just booking one of the offerings in the section where it says Open Temple. And I suggest booking the birthrights activation to go deep and very initiative the first time to really get the full scope of what your star map has to offer. Or you can book a Royal Star Map activation. Or if you're really focused on timing, you've got something coming up and you just need to time it for success, then you want to do the electional timing. And if you're focused like you really want your love life to flourish, there's the Aphrodite activation. So you can find all of those at royalastrology.com. And please subscribe below. You can also subscribe to my newsletter at royalastrology.com. And I'll see you next time. And God knows better.